Imagine you are standing in the middle of the night. No cars, no lights, just the wind, and beneath your feet, thousands of years of the Earth's memories. There are discoveries that when humans find them, history must be rewritten. There are temples older than agriculture. There are bodies that still have skin after 5,000 years. There are maps depicting continents that no one has ever set foot on. We call it archaeology, but sometimes it is the whispers of our ancestors. 1. Göbekli Tepe, the temple older than wheat. Imagine you are standing on a wind-blown hill in eastern Turkey, where the morning sun has just risen above the horizon, casting gold on the silent stones that have been there for more than 11,000 years. Before your eyes are stone circles, each consisting of T-shaped columns nearly 6 meters high, weighing tens of tons, standing still like ancient secret guardians. Welcome to Göbekli Tepe, the site considered to be the oldest temple in the world, appearing around 9,600 years BC, more than 7,000 years before the Great Pyramid of Giza, and even longer before people knew how to grow wheat or raise sheep. There are no houses, no traces of habitation, only giant stone blocks intricately carved in the shape of animals: lions, foxes, antelopes, bison, and birds of prey. They are not decorations, but symbols of belief, ritual, death, and life. The strange thing is, the people who built Göbekli Tepe were still hunter-gatherers. They had no wheels, no metal, no agriculture. So how did they move and erect 10 to 20-ton stones? And why did they do it? Archaeologists, led by Klaus Schmidt in the late 1990s, concluded religious beliefs probably came before agriculture. People gathered together to build places for rituals, and from there, the need to settle down and cultivate arose. A quiet but shocking hypothesis. Was the gods the reason humans built societies in the first place? And then, as if everything was done, they buried it with their own hands. The pits were filled in intentionally, as if they wanted to leave Göbekli Tepe to sleep forever. Thousands of years later, when the earth was lifted, the pillars spoke again, telling the first chapter of human history that we had never known. In the middle of the arid desert, Göbekli Tepe is not a place to live. It is a place where people come to close their eyes and believe. 2. Stonehenge. When the sun becomes myth, dawn has just broken through the thin mist. The pale golden light sweeps across the quiet Salisbury fields, and in the distance, the stones cast shadows in the shape of a giant cosmic clock. You are standing in the middle of Stonehenge, the most mysterious stone structure ever built by mankind. Built around 3000 BC, that is more than 5,000 years ago. Before your eyes are stone slabs weighing from 20 to 40 tons, standing upright, connected to each other by a system of grooves. No mortar, no steel, just incredible precision. But the most astonishing thing is that every stone is aligned with the rising and setting of the sun on the summer and winter solstices. As each season passes, light shines through the cracks in the stones at the right sacred moment. It is as if the ancients, even without writing, could still hear the heartbeat of heaven and earth. What's even more amazing, Stonehenge's special bluestones are not found in Salisbury. They came from Wales, over 250 kilometers away, over mountains, rivers, by hand. No one knows why. No one knows how. What we do know is, this is not just a place of worship. It is not just an observatory. It may have been a place where people came to remember and be remembered. There is a theory that this is a place to communicate with the souls of the dead. When the sun sets between the two stones, darkness falls, like a door opening to the other world. Today, Stonehenge still stands. The wind still blows through the old stone pillars, and the light, once a year, still falls right into the crevice where the ancients once looked, as if time still hears the call of the ancestors. 3. Ötzi the Iceman, the traveler frozen in permafrost. You are on the edge of the Alps, on the border between Austria and Italy. The mountain wind cuts through your skin like a knife, and in a narrow crevice of ice, something glistens. Not ice. It's human skin. In September 1991, two hikers stumbled upon an ancient body that was almost perfectly preserved. The skin still intact, the animal skin clothing, a bronze axe lying next to it. The man hails from 3300 BC, and the modern world calls him by his simple name, Ötzi. Researchers are amazed. His body still bears traces of seasonal pollen crystals, undigested food, handmade tattoos, and a fatal arrow wound to the back. Ötzi did not die of old age. He was murdered, then preserved by the permafrost as a message to the future. In Ötzi's stomach, people found roasted chamois meat, whole wheat, wild vegetables, his last meal, probably just a few hours before he fell. In his hands, there were also flint daggers, herbal bags for stomach aches, and an unfinished bow. Small objects, but tell the story of survival, worry, and struggle of a man more than 5 millennia ago. Ötzi's death has never been definitively explained. Maybe he was ambushed during his migration, or betrayed by acquaintances, or simply, he just fell in silence, and history accidentally remembered him. Today, Ötzi lies in a special refrigerator at the South Tyrol Museum, under soft light, stable temperature. No one bothers him. Only attentive eyes, looking at him as if finding a part of themselves in the ancient ice. And Ötzi, who had never known the concept of future, now lies in the palm of modern science, quietly telling the story of man. 4. Mohenjo-Daro, the city without kings, without wars, without answers before Rome. Before Babylon, there was a shining city in the heart of the Indus River basin. It's not a myth. It's not a dream. It's Mohenjo-Daro, meaning hill of the dead. You're standing in the middle of rows of red bricks, laid out in a straight checkerboard pattern. This was once the center of the Harappan civilization, which existed around 2600 BC, at the same time as ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. Mohenjo-Daro has baffled archaeologists. There are no great temples, no palaces or great tombs, no weapons, no walls, but there are sewers, indoor toilets, and the largest public bath in antiquity, called the Great Bath. The people here seem to live in a classless society. No kings, no slaves, no wars. Just potters, merchants, farmers, and people living together in harmony, in an amazing urban structure. But then they disappeared. Around 1900 BC, the city fell into ruins. No one knows why. No wars, no epidemics. Only silence covered each street as if no one had ever lived there. Some theorize that a great flood changed the course of the Indus River. Some say that the desert spread, food ran out. Some whisper, did they leave before history could write their names? Today, only a few brick floors, a few broken streets remain. But if you close your eyes among those ruins, you can hear the quiet footsteps of people who left behind not victories, but a model of peaceful life that transcends time. Mohenjo-Daro left no kings, but perhaps that is what makes them more immortal than any empire. 5. The Piri-Reis map, the map that should not exist. Imagine you're sitting on the deck of a ship in the middle of the ocean in 1513. The wind blowing from the Mediterranean Sea is filled with the smell of salt. An Ottoman admiral named Piri-Reis spreads out a gazelle skin before him, holds a brush in his hand, and looks into the distance. But what he is about to draw is not just a coastline. It is a puzzle for humanity. The map that Piri-Reis left behind is no ordinary map. It accurately depicts the coastlines of West Africa, South America, and the northern coast of Antarctica, ice-free. But Antarctica was only officially discovered 1820, and for thousands of years, it has been covered by a kilometer-thick layer of ice. So how could a map from 1513 know the geography under the ice? Piri Reis says he didn't measure it all himself. He just copied and compiled it from many older maps, some dating back to Alexander the Great or even earlier. This raises a bold hypothesis. Was there a prehistoric civilization with knowledge of navigation, astronomy, and cartography far beyond the knowledge of the Renaissance? More than just the location of the continents, the Piri Reis map also shows incredible accuracy in distances and scales, which even NASA researchers in the 20th century exclaimed in admiration. Some scientists, such as Charles Hapgood, have argued that this map is based on data from a civilization with surveying technology comparable to that of modern times. Despite the controversy, one thing is undeniable. The Piri Reis map is a crack in the surface of orthodox historical knowledge. It raises the question, how much do we really know about the past? And how much knowledge has been buried under the dust of time? Today, the original map is still kept in the Topkapi Palace Library in Istanbul, Turkey. Every year, thousands of people visit, not just to admire an ancient work, but to confront the very limits of modern knowledge. A map doesn't just show us the way, it shows us what we don't know. Now let's leave the land of Pharaoh and head east to a dry land near the Dead Sea, where wind, rock, and faith have protected the written word for more than 2 millennia, waiting to see the light again. 8. The Dead Sea Scrolls. When faith is written by human hands, imagine you are a young goatherd throwing a rock into a cave near the Dead Sea. The rock flies into the darkness and shatters against a hard, hollow object, not a rock, but a knee-high earthenware jar containing yellowed parchment. You don't know it, but you have just shaken the worlds of academia, religion, and history. In 1947, in the Qumran caves on the western shore of the Dead Sea, that Bedouin boy accidentally opened the world's greatest treasure trove of ancient writing, the Dead Sea Scrolls. More than 800 ancient manuscripts, handwritten on parchment, papyrus, and vellum, contain parts of the Old Testament. Some copies predate the modern Bible by more than 1,000 years. Religious laws, poetry, penitential songs, texts from a sect, possibly the Essenes, who lived in asceticism, isolation, and anticipation of the end of the world. The Dead Sea Scrolls are not a treasure trove of material goods. They are a copy of the faith, handwritten, line by line, letter by letter, by people who believed. If life cannot last, at least let the words live. But it's not just the text. These scrolls tell the story of a tumultuous time in ancient Israel, when the Jews fought the Romans, when the faith was persecuted, when the small people were determined to preserve their identity with words, not weapons. The manuscripts were tightly rolled, placed in jars, and buried deep in caves, waiting for a stranger to come along after millennia. When the modern world began to forget the faith, those dry scrolls spoke again. Today, you can see them, or parts of them, in the Israel Museum in Jerusalem. They rest in frosted glass cases, the light soft, the temperature steady. There is no sound of the desert wind. But if you listen closely, you will see faith can also have the smell of ink, the rustle of paper, and the breath of people who never wanted to be forgotten. 9. Dwarka, a legend that's no longer a legend. In the epic Mahabharata, there was a glorious city called Dwarka, built by Krishna, the hero god and king. A city with 900,000 golden palaces, where the sea gave way to the sacred light. But then, when Krishna died, the sea became angry and swallowed the entire city in one night. For thousands of years, people called it a legend, a religious story, a sacred metaphor, until 1983, when Indian archaeologists surveyed the seabed off the coast of Gujarat and discovered stone walls submerged underwater, brick roads, ancient temples, and even pottery, gold rings, wheel axles. lying quietly among coral and silt. What they found matched every detail of the epic description, not a legend, but a real civilization, possibly more than 9,000 years old, far beyond the accepted timeline of the Indian subcontinent's official history. Scientists debate. Some say it's just a Neolithic ruin. Some claim it is the first evidence of a prehistoric civilization that existed and was forgotten, either by the rising seas or by ancient natural disasters. But all agree on one thing: Dwarka is no longer a myth. Today, modern Dwaraka remains a pilgrimage city where Hindus flock to pay their respects to Krishna. But far out at sea, a few dozen meters below the surface, another Dwarka still sleeps in silence. No more voices, no more lights, only stones, pillars, and the remains of a once glorious city and forgotten by time itself. The sea has taken it, but science has restored faith. Take a deep breath and imagine yourself holding a flickering torch, stepping into the dark underground of ancient France. Inside, you will see no houses, no people, but on the cold stone walls, you will see the souls of prehistoric times. 10. Chauvet Cave. When human hands touch animal souls, there are memories that are not written in words, but drawn with charcoal, blood, and dreams on the cliffs. And the place where those dreams are kept, that is Chauvet Cave, a door back more than 36,000 years, to the Ice Age. Chauvet Cave was discovered in 1994 in the Ardèche region, southern France, by 3 explorers. When they shined their flashlights on the stone walls, the first image that appeared was a roaring lion. Then there are mammoths, rhinoceroses, cave bears, horses, bison, all moving, roaring, chasing each other in a world of unimaginable vividness. These paintings are 3 times older than the Great Pyramid of Giza, and so detailed. Some of the strokes show movement, the horse's legs fading away as if running through the darkness. There are no houses, no tombstones, no stories of life, just wild animals, painted with reverence, precision, and incredible artistry. Archaeologists believe these were not decorative paintings. They were spiritual rituals, where prehistoric humans tried to connect with nature spirits, even animal spirits. Along with the paintings, people also found children's footprints, knee slips, fingerprints on the cave ceiling, and a hand with a missing finger, repeated like a signature. Could this be the first artist in human history? The Chauvet Cave is now sealed to protect the paintings. No one is allowed to enter, but a perfect replica has been built next door so that everyone can enter the world where our ancestors lived, painted, dreamed. In silence and darkness, the human hand has sought to say what cannot be put into words. And so, history is not only written in stone, but also drawn in the soul. But we have only gone halfway. From the temple submerged in the Anatolian snow to Chauvet's hand painted on the cliff, each discovery is a whisper, from the ancients to the moderns. But the greatest mysteries, cities swallowed by the deep jungle, structures that surpass the understanding of modern physics, and civilizations that once defied time and gravity, still lie there silently, waiting to be heard. In Episode 2, we will enter the Golden City of El Dorado, myth or truth. Yonaguni, the underwater structure that may be older than Japan. The Nazca lines, symbols sent to the sky, or maps of the gods. And a pyramid hidden in the jungle, larger than Giza. Prepare your mind, because the next part will not be just about archaeology, but a journey through the deepest memories of humanity.